All right, back here at Denmark Drone Park, have a computer with QGroundControl open, a newly built Developer XE. We'll do the compass and accelerometer calibration with it, do a quick maiden flight, and that'll probably be all she wrote for our flight testing out here today. We may come back for another session, but let's see. I guess one thing I'll make note of, this is a base Developer XE, as in not a standard build of a Developer XE, other than the extended landing gear. And then internally we have 4 discrete ESCs instead of a 4-in-1 ESC. Shouldn't really matter performance-wise. There are some technical differences, but we won't go through any of those in any detail right now. A good habit for any of the Developer builds that have folding props like this, both the XE and the HP, is to unfold the props. They will unspin themselves, of course, but again, just a good practice, good habit. Not that I have any of those jokes, people. I only tell the funniest jokes, the best jokes. All right. I am the biggest joke, the greatest joke. All right, we have a connection to 13 satellites. As I mentioned, getting the best side of me, going to calibrate the accelerometer. We're going to bring the laptop over. Fuck it. I mean, freak it. I want to curse. Gonna use my backpack as a surface for my laptop because I guess it's fine for my backpack to be on the ground, but not my laptop. Here's where installing the props ahead of time. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Wow, Jacob, you're capable of doing this on your own and not asking for someone else's help to do it? Shh, don't tell anyone. Steady. All right, right side. Nose down. Nose up. And upside down. Nice. Both all the way over in the green. And now we'll just need to do the compass calibration. First we'll go ahead and reboot. And you know what, I lied. Let's see if we can go straight from the accelerometer compass calibration. If you caught one of our last videos, if not our last video, we weren't able to, but typically that's not the case. Okay, so it looks like we are indeed going to have to reboot. Tools, reboot. Said vehicle reboot failed, but if you heard it audibly, very apparent not the case. And back to sensors, compass. And with nice big old props, let's see how well we can get this calibration. It's actually pretty nice out. Not too cold. As I yank off my mic. Yeah, not a great compass calibration. Competency at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. We're going to reboot before we attempt that compass calibration again. Try to hold the battery a little bit more stable in place. Go ahead, pre-select the vehicle configuration screen, even though it'll open up by default once the connection has fully established. Back to sensors, compass. All right. I like to avoid bringing the iFixit or screwdriver set out to the field, because if you need it, that typically indicates something has gone too wrong and that you need to go back to the field or go back to the lab or the office. And we're one in the yellow, one borderline yellow red. We're going to reboot again and try it again. Third time's the charm, hopefully, in our case. But what I was saying is to not bring the iFixit screwdriver set, and hopefully we won't need it. But it would be nice to do both the compass calibration, less so the accelerometer calibration, but definitely the compass calibration without the need to work around the props. However, I didn't really want to screw those in out here with how cold it has been. Jacob is the biggest. Sensors, compass. Let's see if I take off my watch this time. Maybe a little closer than ideal to the computer. We'll move it inches away, and that's going to make all the difference. All right. We're going to move in all the props. Hopefully be able to manage those from spinning too far out of control, and they're already spinning out of control. I mean, freak. We're gonna move again a little bit further away. One in the yellow, one in the red. And we're going to just try it again without rebooting. I didn't even hear the auto. Okay, there we go. It is compass rotation mode, compass calibration mode. That's got to be the greatest, the best compass calibration. Let's see. Better, both in the yellow. We're going to rock with it. All right. Parameters, tools, reboot. Let QGroundControl crash because it's baking it. All right. All right, I am changing just here in QGroundControl from stabilize into loiter flight mode. Looks like we still have a solid connection to GPS or satellites via GPS, 15 satellites, still ready to fly. And just to say we can, let's try out the iVue RC app. Have all the same connection to satellites, still getting all the battery information. Shows we're in loiter flight mode. Now let's see what happens if we go ahead, fly drone, arm and fly, set a takeoff of 10 feet, sets it into guided mode, and so far nothing. Let's see what the terminal had to say. Drone successfully set to guided mode. Drone has failed to arm, or drone has failed to launch while armed to guided mode. Let's try again, arm and fly. All right, let's try arm first. Error while sending command. I'm setting back to loiter. I'm going to select fly, arm and fly, launch. Has failed to launch. All right. So the iVue RC app is not going to work to fly this newly built Developer XE. That's fairly interesting, as we've seen success in our recent flights of various Developer models now using the iVue RC app. Let's try a dev version and see if we run into the same issue. I don't know the current differences between our dev version and the production version, but let's see tangibly if there's any. Launch, and nope. So let's go ahead and disconnect. We're going to go back to the live production version and QGroundControl. Just reopening QGroundControl. Again, per typical, we'll get the connection established automatically. All right. Let's just clear the message warning that we're getting. If we set takeoff just to 10 feet, we should be able to drag the slider and see Developer become armed and take off. So look at there, folks. Developer XE flies just as it should. The iVue RC app is unfortunately failing us, so once again we have an instance of our hardware not aligned with our software. So let's give it a few minutes just to make sure there's no catastrophic errors with the build we're potentially overlooking. Definitely not give me an opportunity to hop on my little e-bike here. Not so little e-bike. And watch Developer XE just hover there in place. Nice and quiet. Very quiet. The most quiet drone. Now, in resetting the parameters on this Developer XE, it looks like I did not reload the script for the position and battery status light. So this Developer XE is currently flying lightless, not lifeless, as we can see. But otherwise, looks nice and pretty. Let's go ahead and bring her down and we'll reload the light script onto it. All right, so I'm just selecting the land option in the top left-hand corner, holding down the space bar in this case instead of using the trackpad to slide the slider, and look at that, a nice soft landing even on a slightly slanted surface. All right, so Developer XE flew beautifully, and now we are going to close out a QGroundControl, and now the third ground control software we'll be using out here at the field, Mission Planner, the worst of them all, in some cases the best of them all. I guess that could be said about each of them. When it works, iVue RC is the best way to fly your developer, and it's really not even close, but unfortunately in its current stages of development, not always in a state of working. All right. So here we're going to the config screen, Mav FTP file transfer protocol. I think we do have a video showing you how to do Lua scripts, but here's one a little bit more tangible for loading our light scripts, as you may need to do, especially if you're doing any customization to your own. Just opening up the APM folder, scripts, and we could see the script is already loaded. We can download that script if we want to make any modifications to it, or we could upload a new one. Now that we verified that script is indeed loaded properly, we're going to the parameter list and scrolling down all the way to SCR, enable. We just need to set this to 1, or Lua scripts, which sets the value to 1. And servo 9 is the port already set to script 1. So we just need to write the 1 parameter, SCR enable to enabled and not disabled. As you can see, we need to reboot. And before we reboot, Mission Planner is refreshing the parameters, really all the script parameters that are now available since we enabled scripts. And it's taking a little while to get this last parameter. There we go. And to reboot in the Mission Planner app, you need to go to the testing screen available through this Planner tab. In the Mac version, which is next to impossible to find, if you need the Mac version of Mission Planner, let me know and I can go back through and find where you can find it and share that. But otherwise, if you're on Windows, you can Control F or Command F if that command shortcut were to work on Mac, would open up this temp or testing screen menu, and you can select Reboot Pixhawk from the menu. So unlike QGroundControl, at least this version of Mission Planner will not crash on reboot. And while you look at that, ladies and gentlemen, I was going to walk out there, but who's got time for that? We have a beautiful Developer XE all lit up. All right. So you can see now we have all the position lights as well as the battery status lights all working as they should on both sides. So I think that's all we have for the video today. More work to be done on the iVue RC app. This Developer XE looks good to go for the time being. Be on the lookout for more videos featuring this Developer XE as we have some plans for the holiday season coming up. And then otherwise, of course, we'll be doing more developer test flights out here at the field. So stay tuned and you'll catch us in the next one. Thanks.